If it's Trevor or Matt Stafford and it's close, I'm going to take Matt Stafford. I just am. If I were playing Jamar Chase and Joe Flacco was throwing him the football, I would just shut the fuck up and hope he doesn't get mad.
The 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard, the 1 yard, 1 yard.
I got to say, he's one of my favorite players in the league just because of the way he carries himself. 4! I want 4 personal foul penalties. He spun the ball. He pointed at him. He did this to his chest. And then he walked away. Gentlemen, welcome to, and ladies too, welcome to the preview show. I was welcoming y'all, gentlemen. I've got Macon here, Nate here, Cowboy here, Tanner here, Nolan here.
Oh, I forgot it was Europe.
You know, before the show, I said, let's make some haste. Let's make haste.
Yeah, and I said, what is haste?
And I said, I'll tell you about it in a minute. He said, that sounds like a white drug.
It does.
It doesn't take long to make haste either.
Okay.
Like, that's the day, you just make it fast.
Yeah.
Making haste means just like hurrying the fuck up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, let's just get to the show.
Make haste, not waste.
I'm actually excited about this weekend.
Are you now?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
You seeing it?
Yeah, some of the games leave a little to be desired.
Well, we'll get into that.
Feels like Rock Fight City.
I don't know about that. I don't know. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'd love it if it was. I almost had a conniption earlier because I thought I had a beat on the weather in Cleveland. And I was going to give out. You weren't going to give out the Chargers, were you?
I was not.
I tried to cock block y'all with the Chargers, knowing that like I had that Miami Cleveland under in the hopper, and this guy jumped on it.
Chris had the number 1 overall pick on the Backdoor Cover Show.
Took the Chargers.
And I went under in Cleveland with number 3 overall.
You know what I need on this soundboard? When Arnold Schwarzenegger says, "Go Chargers, go." Please. Yeah. So I can't wait. Like, there are games on this slate that nobody else cares about. Like Miami Cleveland's going to be that's going to be a wild ride. We'll get there in a little bit. I think New Orleans and Chicago is going to be kind of fun. Spencer Rattler revenge game. We can talk about that in a little bit. Rams Jags. He gave out the Rams. I had the Rams on my paper. I think this is a Rams spot. Now, there's some things I worry about if I'm the Rams.
They just got you right where they want you.
Do they?
Yeah, they want everyone to think this is a Rams spot. So.
I don't know, man. I think if you're the Rams, you worry about Puka being out. And Nolan made a good point. It's not just the pass game. It's also the run game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think honestly, this game comes down to red zone, and it's going to be Rams red zone offense. You saw there was a impassioned plea on the sideline this weekend where Puka's, boy, check out the leadership on that fucking guy, talking about getting inside the 35-yard line and being even more on the details, which they have not been so far this year. They actually are surprisingly pretty pedestrian in the red zone offensively. With the run game they have and everything. You think about even some of the mishaps that they had, like that lost them the San Francisco game.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jags have been pretty decent defensively in the red zone. I think that's going to be a big thing. One thing we talked about last week was the screen game and how Seattle shut that down. And you know, if you shut down the screen game, if you shut down this newfound affinity to run the football under Liam Cohen, then you make Trevor beat you. And I'm sorry. If it's Trevor or Matt Stafford and it's close, I'm going to take Matt Stafford. I just am. And I also think one thing is you look at the Jags, their tackles, they're going to be getting a heavy dose of power this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Can they handle it? Can they anchor down on these rushers, man? Because Jared Verse is out there, and he's going to pick his matchup. But they also have a pretty good number 2 rusher on the edge as well. And you're going to be dealing with games. One thing that they've struggled with, because Fisk and Verse are very well versed, no pun intended, in running games together. I just feel like this is a big spot. And then Devin Lloyd's out.
It's gonna be a tough game, I think, just on defense. But to what you're saying, I think if we try to stick with our run game, like, it's gonna help Trevor out a lot. I just feel like in a lot of these games, like, we start the game off, Etienne or our run game is going decent, and then they just abandon it. And I think they just have to stick with it. Like the outside zone rushes and things like that. I feel like Etienne this year, he's been doing really well when he gets to the outside. And that offensive line, it seems like maybe them running and finding blocks is a better way that they can be effective. But it really comes down to pre-snap penalties and the Jacksonville Jaguars, like the games, even the games they're winning, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We have too many pre-snap penalties, too many drop passes at the wrong time. And just like you said, like when it comes down to Trevor having to make the play, it's one of those things where me as a fan, it's iffy how confident you are in those big time situations for him right now.
And last week, Brian Thomas Jr. was a bright spot statistically and some of the things, but even still
a big drop.
Even still, and I just think that like, the team kind of goes as the quarterback goes. Like, and I'm not saying he's been the reason, that they haven't showed up big in a spot like Seattle. I mean, there were other reasons. You outlined a lot of them. Certainly, one of them being like, hey, the Seahawks shut down the screen game. By the way, the Rams top 5 in yards per play against the screen. Yeah. That's a little something that was uncovered this week. Looking at it, where it's like, well, that's one of your bread and butter deals. You know how they looked last week, but it's the details. It's the details, and like if the quarterback's not on the details, and I don't mean he's missing stuff like making mental errors, but I mean like, if the ball placement's a little bit off, if receivers are dropping balls, it's just a vibe that spreads throughout the whole team.
Yep.
Where it's just like, hey, we're a little sloppy.
Yeah.
And I think with a big week where you're going to travel to London, like that can go one of two ways. You can get closer as a team, and you can say, hey guys, like we showed what we were capable of Monday night. Let's be more like that group, and kind of band together. Or the slide just continues a little bit. I think it's going to be a thing where the Rams get this win. Mm-hmm. And the Jags have a lot of soul searching to do coming back stateside, and I think they eventually right the ship. But you see it with a ton of teams, like little slumps. You have a big win, then you have a slump. Buffalo's going through a slump right now. I could see this being a little bit of a slump for them that they have to fight out of. And then the worst part is, and this was the take of the week from Skip Bayless. Did you see this?
Talking about Travis Hunter.
This is some wild shit, dude. He did a 28-minute video on Hunter getting baptized last Sunday.
Yeah.
That was the wildest thing I've ever seen. Like, with him, it's becoming now, like, and I guess it's always been this way. Like, I don't know what's satire and what's not. A couple quotes from the video. This is 4 minutes in. Quickly, before I continue, it's a 28-minute video that he posted to X.com. All about a baptism. Quickly, before I continue, allow me to qualify myself on baptism. I'm a God guy. And then this is my favorite quote. I only made it 4.5 minutes in. His attitude is, they're not using me that much, so why not get baptized on game day? It's like Bayless is attributing the baptism to some sort. It's like a protest baptism or something. Like he doesn't like his usage.
No, first off, the game day is on Sunday. Does he realize that? And dudes can go to church.
Go to church literally on Sunday morning.
The morning before a game if they feel like it. So that's the first thing, like him trying to make something of it. But it's just clickbait. And honestly, it's one of those things. Maybe you take this as a compliment because I feel like Skip Bayless, he only picks like the big time athletes to kind of troll or find something wrong with. The athletes that everyone kind of likes or is doing well, he finds a way. He did it with LeBron, and he wanted people like to really find a way to not like LeBron, and he had his angles, and he just kept going with it. And maybe this will be his new thing because he thinks Travis Hunter is going to be the next great star. And he
says Travis, his issue is with the usage. The baptism was the hook for him into how he's being used. And so the issue he's taken is that he thinks Hunter is a generational corner, which I think he probably could be. Like, I think he's got that level of talent. Like, if you asked me before the season, I was like, hey, how would you use him? I'd have said I stuck him on defense if I had to pick one. offensively, you're hearing rumblings this week that they're going to force feed him, get him more involved in the game plan. And they do, because when he has the ball in his hands, he is electric. He's really hard to tackle.
Yep.
And so, I mean, I think people need to chill out on like he's not doing enough, yada, yada, yada. He's also being asked to do something very unique that I haven't seen another first pick being asked to do, which is play both sides of the ball with regularity. Like, I don't think people understand how rare it is to see him even be able to do that thus far this season.
Like, and honestly, like, not to even to like bad, like, this not bad talk, but it's just like he might not fully understand, like, have all of both sides of the playbook. I could just imagine, I could just imagine, for one, being a rookie and up until this point, and maybe like 80% of that playbook, like that good, all the audibles and everything in your mind, but he has to do that for two sides of the ball. So I just think it's something that every game they're trying to get him a little better, get him a little more, and sooner or later we're going to start seeing this kid be electric on both sides in games, and everyone's going to be like, oh, this is why he has all this hype. And for me as a Jags fan, I'm excited to see it, and good for him getting baptized, Skip Bayless, kick rots.
I know. It's just, I mean, like, I don't even mean to analyze the video. It's just more funny that video actually exists, that like somebody who like is tasked with, less than 10 years ago, Skip Bayless was like one of the go-to takesmen in America. Mm-hmm. How far has he fallen that he's doing 28-minute Twitter videos about baptisms on a Sunday morning?
And it's gonna get so much clickbait for the next week just because it's him, and that's why he did it. But hopefully he gets what
not
he
interested
wants
in
from
analyzing
it.
his motives. But I am interested in the Rams run game. That's gonna be, you talk about red zone, like run game to me, especially with Puka possibly down. Like, I don't know where he's, maybe 50-50 at this point, would you call it?
Has not yet practiced.
Hasn't practiced. I know he's tough as fuck. Like, I know if he can, he will, but like.
Seems like he will.
You hope he will, if you
I
bet
do.
the Rams.
Sure do.
But again, like, the run game is big, and he factors into that. But the Rams run in duo 32% of the time. And one thing that's easy to see when you see Jacksonville play is, like, the guys inside they're not necessarily pluses. You get these doubles on these guys, and you'll be able to move them. And I just, again, like McVay, Cohen's a good football coach, but McVay going to London, like, having his team ready to play, like, Cohen hasn't done this before. It's a big undertaking. If the Jags win this game, this will be their most impressive win of the season to me. Not beating the Chiefs at home. Honestly, because what it took to beat the Chiefs at home was Patrick Mahomes throwing a pick six in the red zone. Patrick Mahomes torched that team and then gifted them a 14-point swing. I think if they can go to London and beat the Rams, this would impress me just as much.
It's a home game, yo. We're
I
gonna
know
have
it
the
is.
fans.
I know it
We're
is.
gonna have the fans. It's gonna be loud on third down for us. All that. It's gonna be great. What I love now, which is funny, is like when Chris he talks about the Jags. It's like he's talking to me with kid gloves. Like, hey, Nate, you're not gonna like this.
Well, it's more for the fans, because I don't have anything against the Jags, and like I totally missed the boat on them. This I didn't think they'd be this competent this early.
Yeah.
So I don't want to appear to be a Jags hater. I'm not.
Oh, no,
I make no apologies for liking the quarterback in the Rams helmet like way more than the quarterback in the Jags helmet. It's just, I'm a big Stafford fan, and I do think Trevor, although there's a debate raging as we speak somewhere over, was it his fault he got sacked 7 times last week? Was it not his fault? Well, like, the truth lies somewhere in between. Time to pressure was pretty pretty high.
With the point you're making right now, the thing that makes me kind of confident is that Liam Cohen was a quarterback and he's an offensive guy, and I feel like what you're saying, he's saying to Trevor, and he's letting Trevor know, like, hey, like, look, like, this is your fault. Like, you need to get the ball out, and I think that's what hopefully is going to get corrected.
And it's not all his fault.
No,
guys were getting dogged last week. There were some guys up front that were getting dogged, but that happens, on a lot of teams where quarterbacks are asked to make the plays.
Yep.
And ultimately, I think they're gonna be able to score points. Like, I do think they're gonna be able to score points. I think the Rams are gonna have a hard time matching up with them. But again, like, you talk about the things that they do well. We talk about Shula and the sim pressures. We talk about the ability to rush with 4. the edges collapsing that pocket. Like, I think Lawrence, when he gets that pocket collapsing in on him, his eyes can go down. It will be a dirty pocket. So you're going to have to run the ball. I think the screen, as I mentioned, the screen game is going to be a uphill battle for them.
And hey, Trev, just do it cautiously. Don't be afraid to use those legs. Just slide. Just slide when you're supposed to.
Hey, Trev, here's Byron Young. 7.5 sacks.
And just announced
I know.
Nakua didn't practice today, and Tutu
Practice, though.
practice. But Tutu Atwell was up. He practiced.
Oh, Atwell's up.
Yep.
Well, listen, Byron Young having 7.5 sacks, should he be in the DPOY conversation? That's a rhetorical question. I don't think anybody's putting him there, but I also think he deserves a lot more credit than he's getting. But it's an interesting, what is the – why do we put some guys into that conversation based on statistics, but then some guys not?
Not right.
Why is that? I mean, it's not a rhetorical question. Why would Byron Young not be from a national –
Well, it's certainly name recognition and where the team is. You're going to pick a named guy who's maybe been there with a team that has in a bigger market than a second-year player.
How many pressures does he have this year? Can we pull that up? Is that readily available information?
Sack leaders are Nick Bonito, Byron Young, Brian Burns, Aiden Hutchinson, and Dorrance Armstrong. 30 pressures.
I'm looking at it right now. He's got 30 pressures in the season.
Dorrance
Your
Armstrong
pressures leaders
is up there. Who are the pressures leaders? I think Hutch has 1 billion. I'm pretty sure
He has
Bonito has
45.
Yeah, Hutch has 45.
Hutch has 45. Then it goes Karlaftis, Verse, Parsons, Tui Pelotu, Byron Young.
Wow.
Byron Young should be in that
Will
conversation. If we're going to do this
yeah.
with everybody that's leading the league in sacks, and I'm not implicating any single person, but Byron Young deserves more credit. I think the rhetorical part of my question is some people discount him because they think it's all the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a good group. It's a good group.
Jags will be wearing teal over teal in London
Love
on
it.
Sunday morning.
Teal Town.
Bone for the Rams.
White for the Rams.
White for the Rams.
Blue helmet, blue pant.
If you want a little trending bet, the Rams' second half is a solid play. Stafford 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a 73.3% completion rate. He's 5-1 in the second half against the spread this year, which he hasn't finished above 500 against the second half spread since 2017.
Can you remind me of that at 2:30?
Yes.
Nope. About 11 a.m.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Yeah, we're in the morning. You'll be at my house anyways. Remind me. Hey, and a lot of fun to see Coach Camp, one of the standout young coordinators in the game, who's a Paisan, and coaching defense for the Jags against Sean McVay, who's one of the godfathers of offense in today's NFL. This is a big test. It's a big test, and I think it's a lot of fun. If you're the Jags, hey, this is a measuring stick for us for sure.
Rams is type of lamb, right? Turn them into lamb chops.
You could turn them into lambs.
Yeah.
Ram chops.
Ram chops.
Ram chops.
Ram chops this week, baby.
I think they're probably a little tough. Rams are pretty muscular animals. I don't think you'd want to eat one.
Jaguar in the wild
Same
will probably
thing,
rip a ram's neck off.
No question.
And use its horns to pick the rest of the gristle out of its teeth.
Jesus Christ.
Duval.
Well,
But I like
that
that.
Bears Saints game is going to be ugly then, huh?
Oh, when the Saints go marching in.
Just doing mascots. All right.
The Philadelphia Eagles game of the week this week is the Eagles at the Vikings.
Oh man, I can't wait for this game because if the Eagles
count.
lose 3 in a row, it's like the world is gonna shift a little bit because Eagles fans they're gonna not know what to do. Who are they gonna blame? What's going on? And I love it. I love it when that anonymous player gives a quote during a week of a game after 2 losses. Can you imagine? Could you imagine, Chris? Anonymous. Why?
It's a 1-point line game, dude. Absolutely, I can imagine.
But why would a player choose this week to put an anonymous quote out with
Because this is the time that shit gets hard, and like you find out what your team's made of from like a standpoint of, are you going to stick together? Are you going to what are you looking at? What is it?
Cooper DeJean and AJ Brown are disgruntled at practice. I mean, if you see this
Was that the
video,
quote?
Yes, disgruntled.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
they're fake,
they're at each
doing
other's
fake
necks.
karate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a bad look for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I think the truth always, there's always some factions of a team that aren't clicking, aren't getting along, especially when things aren't good. And that's happening anywhere in the NFL. The Eagles have like maximum media exposure, maximum TV exposure. They're the defending Super Bowl champions, and we go through this every year, right? Almost every year. Last year we didn't go through it. Although we did go through it at the end of last year. We did go through it. The difference between last year's team and this year's team, as I've talked about at length, is last year's team's a lot better. So, what matters is the execution on the field. Because if you win games and people are getting fed,
cures everything.
Mm-hmm. If you win games and people aren't getting fed, people are off in the corners like kind of pissed off, but they can't say anything. And then when you start losing, like the floodgates open, the anonymous sourcing comes out, the whole thing. And I'm not a fan of anonymous sourcing.
Yeah,
Never have been.
Me either.
Never have been.
It is a tough get-right game, if you want to call it that, for the
Boy,
Eagles
is it.
offense against Flores' defense.
I mean, fuck. We said it last week. Is like, man, like looking ahead to the schedule, like, oh, who they got? Oh, fuck. And they got to go to Minnesota, where it's going to be loud. And you talk about a team that is kind of at a crossroads. I wouldn't say they're at a crossroads, but like for everything they've been through, to get this win would be huge for the Vikings. You talk about the defense. They are getting Cashman back, which is big. I think they've looked totally different without Blake Cashman. And I think Van Ginkel's up, right?
He's practicing. He's limited. The news clippings seem a little bit more like
iffy.
He might be a week away.
So either way,
practicing.
if I had to pick one, this might make me sound a little crazy to get back on a week like this. I'd probably rather get Cashman back. I think they really have to get that. They have to get the run game, the fire in the run game put out. The one thing that has not been impressive about their defense, and this is what I think Saquon Barkley and the Eagles are looking at, is like we can rack up some yards on the ground playing this team. I think I think there's been a little bit of a movement, on like doubles with Hargrave and these guys inside. Like you can definitely see that there is a drop off at backer without him in there. Cashman, the guy we're talking about, and I think the run game is going to be paramount on the road. It always is, but the run game is going to be big because I don't love the Eagles passing game in its current form. Seeing this defense. We've talked about at times like, hey, playing man defense against this offense, even in a rut, it's like they can just get going. It's like, oh, fuck, we got a man beater. If we can block the front up, like somebody's going to get open. Mm-hmm. But when you play zone, it seems to be a little bit more guesswork going on. And I think Hurts is going to struggle if he sees a lot of cover 2 variants. That's something that in the past, and if you look at this is so far this season, 25 of 33, 186 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 75% completion rating, but in 98 rating, that all sounds really good, but the ADOT's 5.4 yards. That's like me to Tanner, and then the time to throw is 3.15 seconds. That's a long time.
It's a long time.
So what I think will happen, there's a lot of change into the picture that goes on with the Brian Flores defense. A lot of these cover 2 variant looks, like you're going to have to protect really, really well. And I would imagine that blitz with zone behind it is going to be on the menu. And so, like another thing is like you've got Isaiah Rodgers out there who's playing fantastic right now. To add insult to injury, you might be down Quinyon Mitchell. What's the update on him?
He is practicing. He's limited,
okay. Well, then he's playing. Hey, buddy, you practicing? You're playing. I'm sorry. This is a big fucking game. I mean, and if he can't go, he can't go. I'm not. But it kind of, to me, like when I hear a guy's practicing, I'm like, well, we got a good shot at getting him. So,
is there something different the Eagles secondary can do than if Quinyon is down, then throw out Adoree Jackson and Killy Ringo? Like could you have Cooper play one of the outside position, or Cooper
you
play one of the outside.
you play a ton of fucking zone. You play combo coverage. You play two, which they'll do. Cover 6, 2 on one side, 4 on the other, and you try to sync it up so that Justin Jefferson has a guy over top of him all day long. You could bracket him, like whatever you want, but like you got to make sure if you're in zone, there's multiple guys keyed up on it. The problem is you also got Jordan Addison, and you got to figure one of the problems is like the longer a Vikings offense has to operate in the pass game, which has been a thing. Like the Eagles have not rushed the passer at a high level this year, and Jalen Carter's coming back. There's a lot of onus on him to take the game over.
I was just about to ask you.
There's a ton of onus on him to take the game over.
Get the button ready. Jalen Carter.
Well, this is one of my least favorite.
Jalen Carter. Ooh, shit. Jalen Carter.
I don't even like that sounder, but but honestly, it's like, and there's been a lot of talk around the Eagles this week about, hey, Jalen's got to play better, and he does. He does have to play better. Like I watched every snap of his pass rush this morning, every snap on the year, and I think at times he's getting bored with the slide. Like he's the only guy, right? Like he's not the only guy, but he's the guy, right? So teams are just keying him, and they're sliding to him, they're doubling him. When he gets the one-on-ones, he's still pretty fucking, like nothing's changed.
Yeah.
His conditioning was a little bit of a problem. And I know he played like every snap last year, and people said, well, he's in great shape. He played every snap last year, but like what I saw early in the year was like not in great football shape. Getting a lot of slide, getting a little discouraged. He's getting a lot of slide. One thing though I will point out is the two plays down in the red zone that have saved the Eagles bacon. Like we're talking about the Travis Kelce drop touchdown, which that ball was rushed. Jalen Carter getting a win, speeding Patrick Mahomes up. The second one was Baker Mayfield's interception. Jalen doesn't get a great rush, but he cuts Baker Mayfield off at the pass and causes that play to go longer where he gets greedy and makes that throw. I mean, he's keeping him in the pocket because at that point, like if he's not there, Baker probably just picks up 5 on a scramble and they go on their merry way. But instead, he's hurried. He makes a throw like that. He's showing up when it counts in some spots, because another thing is like you'll see a guy come free for a sack and guys are winning off of him. Guys are winning off of him as the penetrator. Here's another thing, like because of the Eagles' lack of pass rush now, they've had to pull backers into the pass rush a bunch, right? So you're getting like Zach Bond, Campbell coming from the second level. You get these oaky looks or these odd looks or whatever, and then you're going to get one rusher from the second level. So that creates another thing like this week is like, okay, I said Jalen Carter has to play better, but another thing is like if the Eagles are going to keep bringing those backers, like those Vikings running backs, like Ham and those guys have to be really good protectors. Like this week, they have to be really good protectors. So like we talk about what can they do. I think you play zone behind a hopefully better pass rush than it has been. You get home so that these long developing overs that are, entering other zones like late in the down and guys are turned around and KOC is going to scheme you up like a motherfucker. Fangio's a great DC, but if the play goes 4 seconds and you got Addison and Naylor and not even mentioning Justin Jefferson out there, like the longer the play goes, the zones expand.
Yep.
And these deep overs and things like late in the down can really fuck with the safety who's supposed to be receiving the over. I'm probably butchering the DB vernacular there. I played in front of this stuff my whole career. But when I watch them, if you don't get the pass rush, the stuff comes open late in downs. So you got to be able to rush the passer. And another thing is if you do decide to go single high, meaning, hey, you're going to get man coverage, you're going to get cover 3 or something like that. Carson Wentz is just looking at Justin Jefferson. So you could tempt him into force feeding Justin Jefferson, because when you watch him play this year and he gets a look like he's going to get man coverage and Justin Jefferson's way out there, he goes right there. Another thing is he stares down the ball. He stares down receivers. So, the Eagles have to almost like bank on getting a big turnover in this game, in my opinion. They have to handle the screen game. They have to handle the run game. I got it. But Carson Wentz, we haven't even gotten real first take on this thing. It's his fucking revenge game, like clear as day. You haven't heard anything about it out of Minnesota. They're not trying to make it about this because there is a quarterback thing where they're like, is McCarthy up? Is Wentz up? Wentz is going to play. If he doesn't, this is some fantastic gamesmanship by KOC. But if you think about like a team having a bye and having all this time to prepare for a game, they're not going to then be like, 4 days before, like, McCarthy feels pretty good now. Let's throw him in. I know Carson's had like 5 practices. They are singularly focused over that bye week on their opponent. And so I think like Wentz is getting the reps and he's going to play, but he does have that shoulder. It's the non-throwing shoulder. So Brosmer, who they really liked, is waiting in the wings, and I don't know if McCarthy's going to be active or what. Like
He said himself earlier this week that his ankle's not 100%, so it's hard to see them throwing him out there if he's not even feeling that strong about it.
I don't think so either. And the other thing the Eagles have to worry about is bunches, stacks, motion late in the down. We talked about it with Fred Warner out, new guys in, Bucks like trying to force them to communicate. Atlanta forcing them to communicate this Sunday. Well, you're not missing the quarterback of your defense, but you got a bunch of guys back there if Quinyon Mitchell's out or if he's not out, where you're going to have to communicate. And one thing that Minnesota does a really good job of is motion, especially late in the down. And they will have these little bunches and stacks, and it'll be interesting to see how they vary Justin Jefferson's alignment because you can line him up wherever. So, long story short, I think this is a really interesting test for both teams. Like if the Vikings want to say, hey, we got the car detailed, JJ, have a seat. Tell me if it feels different. Like we're a totally different team, and you're healthy and we're going places. Like this would be a big win. For the Eagles, it's kind of survival, bro. And I don't mean to make a 4-2 team sound like they it's a win or go home type thing, or it's like but everybody's saying it, like how weird the vibe is right now. Like, you've got a bunch of you mentioned anonymous source, and you mentioned, AJ not getting the ball enough, Saquon not getting going, Jalen Hurts being questioned, like the defense, guys getting cooked in the secondary, like, and there's no. Like, who are you going to go get? Who's Howie going to go get? Edge rushers or corners? Like, the only way out is to play better. You can't bank on Howie coming to save the day this year. And really, when you look at his trade deadline moves that he's made, like, Howie's fantastic at his job, but how many trades at the deadline has he made that have kind of elevated the team in a way that they were a lot better off? Seriously, Jay Ajayi, right?
Yeah.
Right. Jay Ajayi, like freaking they went out and got Golden Tate in 2018. We went out and got Golden Tate. That helped, but like I don't know if it elevated us to like the next level. All I'm saying is for people that are saying, hey, Howie will fix it, I don't know what the fix is. The fix is playing better. The fix is going out and running the football and speeding up the processing at quarterback and settling into a groove where you're running some offense that actually looks like some semblance of you've got a game plan. You know what I'm saying? So
Saquon hasn't seen 60 rushing yards for 4 straight games.
This is the week he gets it.
Tackle breaking rate is down 40% from last year. And after this, they see the Giants. I'm sure they're licking their chops to see the Giants again, but maybe not just 2 weeks after what just happened. And after Giants, it's Packers and Lions. Danger.
That is why this game is so important, dude. This game is huge. And I'm not trying to be alarmist or anything. Like if I were on this team, we'd be sitting in the fucking locker room saying how big this game is.
And then like, hey, who's going to go talk to a reporter anonymously? Draw straws.
Yeah, probably. And then the other thing is like the offensive line. Like what offensive line is Wentz going to be playing behind? Okay, they could get Jackson, Juergens, O'Neal back this week. He could either be playing in front of Darisaw, Jackson, Juergens, Fries, O'Neal, or Darisaw, Huber, Brandel, Fries, and School. So the big one for me is O'Neal. Like, be great if he'd come back ASAP. But the ironic thing is, like, the Eagles don't really have a lot of edge rushers, and one of them just retired this week. So, golly, I mean, this is a big fucking game, dude. It's a big game for both teams. That's why I'm excited. I'm excited about these games, man. Like, the longer the year goes, like the first month, all the games feel big, that sort of thing. Like, you don't really know who teams are. Like, we're kind of getting into not nut cutting time. It's not nut cutting time. It's crunch. No, it's not crunch time. It's nut cutting time. Nut cutting time comes before crunch time, I think.
Maybe.
Whatever it is, it's getting late early. If you don't figure things out at this point in the season, if you let these issues, you mentioned the teams that are coming up.
Yeah.
Vikings.
I think it's right now. It's the race to 8 wins. I think like whatever teams can like get to that 8-win mark, like it's gonna start making the difference between the contenders and the pretenders. And I think like right now, it's like that muddy time where teams are either gonna keep elevating
In the NFC especially.
or they're gonna move back and lose a couple of games and then try to get back on track. But it's funny right now, these next couple of weeks, how different certain teams, their season can like literally go between if you're going to get a win or a loss right now, or a tie or something like
5-2 feels great. Eagles go score 26 points, win the game.
Amazing.
Saquon runs for 100 yards. Like,
3-3.
people are going to say, hey, we're back. Jalen takes care of the football, which he always does.
or 4-3. Yeah.
Yeah, but 4-3 feels like fucking. And for the Vikings, getting this win would be huge, and obviously for Carson to be huge. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I like Carson. Like, I've never disliked Carson.
Yeah.
I know that there's guys that have talked about Carson, after the fact, and wasn't perfect. He wasn't perfect in Philly, but I think he's a good guy, and he's in a really good place to play quarterback. We were kind of questioning that watching JJ McCarthy play, but Carson's done a decent job, man. Decent. He had to make some big throws to win that game a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and if you're still wavering or waffling on the Carson Wentz JJ McCarthy argument, Carson has 0.19 EPA per dropback. JJ is at minus 0.42. And Carson has a 58% success rate versus JJ's 44%.
And listen, I want to see JJ play in front of Darisaw and O'Neal and those guys before I make a real judgment on his game.
He didn't have Addison either.
He hasn't had Addison. So and Carson's enjoyed the return of a couple of these guys, and he's also played. They played the Browns defense last week, which is tough sledding, but they played the Browns. I know this is EPA and that sort of thing, but winning is the most important thing. And they were able to get one in London. I mean, the ball he threw to Jefferson, I think it was middle of the field at the end of the game, was, the confidence to rip it, great. That's never been a Carson issue, but, I kind of wonder if that gunslinger mentality wore off in his time of, being knocked down to lead them on a game-winning drive, to hit the touchdown at the pylon. His confidence got to be pretty high. And this is a game where I'm interested to see how he reacts. Because he's just been I don't know if he's been waiting for this opportunity, but the opportunity is here. So
0-1 career against the Eagles. Vikings beat writer reports that Jackson, Jurgens, O'Neal all practicing Thursday in addition to Van Ginkel and Cashman.
Jackson, Jurgens, O'Neal, that's pretty good. But now Landon Dickerson now, I don't know what's going on with him.
He's practicing. He was
big to
limited
get him
yesterday.
back.
I don't know what the update was today, but he was back yesterday.
And we'll see how much better he looks. Like, maybe a week did him some good, but I don't know. Like, he seemed pretty banged up before the hiatus, if you will. This football season, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at first touchdown scores. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Be sure to take advantage of this offer, and if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. BetMGM, make it legendary.
All right, we've got 5 other 1 p.m. games. What are you most intrigued by among Raiders Chiefs, Dolphins Browns, Pats Titans, Panthers Jets, and Saints Bears?
Well, I would probably put Dolphins Browns first.
It's a weather game.
Yeah, it's just a weather game. I love weather. 60. I saw something. You saw the same thing, obviously. 60-mile-per-hour gusts.
That's going to change.
That's
because
definitely going to
Thursday.
change. Watch. It always does. Whenever you try to play the weather, like,
It's going to be 45-30 final score.
fucking teams are, as of now, playing in a hurricane, and both teams are considering trading half their teams. So, like, this is perfect. This is a perfect chaos watch, and I think it favors the under. We both do. I think what's interesting about the trade deadline is, like, I don't know if this would hold up or not. Like, we honestly didn't have time to look this week, but like in the past, do you see a significant dip in usage of players who are traded a week later? I'm sure something shows up there. So, like, there's an opportunity, if you're watching closely, to maybe bet the unders on some of these props for players that are going to be traded soon. We suspect are going to be traded. You could also figure that it might factor into the game plans. Like, if they're trading Jalen Waddle, which I don't know if they are. Like, that's just a rumor that's been rolling around, and we'll talk about that when it comes to the Giants and some other teams that are rumored to be in the sweepstakes. Like, how much do you put him out there? Like, I'm not fucking throwing that guy any balls over the middle. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? So it's a pretty interesting watch if you're trying to pick up on the tea leaves. Like, I think who cares who wins this game? I do. I bet the Browns. But at the same time, like, it's going to be the story within the game that's going to be interesting. Like, damn, they haven't given Jalen Waddle a single target.
Part of it is probably, like, if there are conversations going on about, between the GM there and other GMs about what you can get for him. If those conversations are going well, like you saw, like, it being floated around, they're asking for a 1 for him.
Yeah.
If Chris Greer feels like he can get that, if I'm Chris Greer, I'm in the locker room hiding his helmet.
Oh, I'm fucking.
Like, you're not letting him go anywhere near the field,
dude. I'm putting X-Lax, like, I'm going Dumb and Dumber at the team meal, dude. He's gonna be on the toilet, like Harry in Aspen.
Do you guys remember where
Right.
Jalen Waddle was picked?
What
17?
point is in the draft?
3rd round?
6th overall
Wow.
Oh shit,
in the first round.
my bad. Wow.
No, I'd surprised me
No,
too. That's
it's
why I
that
asked.
word. I just froze. It just froze, bro.
Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle,
Oh wow.
Mixed bag.
then Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, and Patrick Surtain.
The real gems were around 10.
Devontae Smith was 10th.
What are some players in this game you want to see, quote unquote, saved?
I want to see Zach Sealer saved. I want them to save him. I know there's a lot of baptism talk this week with Travis Hunter. I would like to see my boy Zach Sealer saved. I think Bradley Chubb, guy who I've always liked his game, be nice to see him escape Alcatraz. But I don't know if his contract. I don't know how does his contract factor in? Because
Let me see. I'll look it up right now.
look that up.
You want to save Waller or just leave him down there? 'Cause
I'd
he's
love
a
to
rap.
see Waller saved, bro.
I think he wants to be in Miami. He got to get. He's starting off his rap career. That's a perfect spot.
I don't know, bro. He's kind of
He needs
kind
to-
of got like a New York flow, dude.
You know what he needs to do?
Nah,
he needs
all good.
He needs to get that. He needs to get that collaboration with Will Smith and do a new Miami song or something and really
is
really
funny.
set it off down there.
But if he were to be
Wow.
traded, I'm kind of thinking he'd be a fun Charger. I've brought this up before. Miami to LA, that'd be pretty fun for him. They could
Miami to
use a tight end.
Jacksonville's closer.
Jacksonville's closer.
Lot cheaper
Cheaper,
for
closer.
Shad Khan to get him to Jacksonville.
Yeah, you're not going to be making much at your gigs
And I mean,
either,
while
though, in
Brendan
Jacksonville.
Strange is down, you know.
Yeah, no, I know.
Chubb is very movable this year. He's got a very low base salary. The base salary jumps next year, so it's probably more about 26 cap space for him.
Chubb, you think about that, like, it's got to be a team that's got cap space next year and is serious about him, like, in the long run. Like, Or it's a team that's going for broke this year, and I don't know when they, you just look at him like a upstanding citizen next year and be like, glad we have him. But I just, I think he's a weird tweener kind of thing. If I was looking for an edge rusher, golly, I mean, there's just not a lot out there. I would
Myles
look at Jermaine
Garrett?
Johnson first. Well, Myles Garrett, I'd have been calling a while ago. We're going to talk about Myles Garrett right now because, there's this whole thing going on this week about, oh, he sucks. He doesn't show up and to add fuel to the PFF fire. PFF, they're like, well, he doesn't suck. And I'm like, well, thank you, Captain Obvious. And why are people saying Myles Garrett sucks? Like, are we living in a fucking alternate timeline? The guy garners as much attention as anybody. I went back and looked at the Steelers game. Obviously, you'd like to see him get home. But that ball's out. And Steelers did a great job of chipping him at the line of scrimmage. And if you're a defensive end, you know what I'm talking about. All you defensive ends listening. A chip from the halfback spot can oftentimes be a lot easier to defeat because sometimes the tackle doesn't know it's coming. You can spin off it late in the down. You can go to power. You can reduce your surface area. And backs aren't great at chipping. Not all of them are great at chipping. But if you get a tight end, you just park that guy right outside the tackle. It kind of puts the end in a tough situation. Either the end has to get really far outside the tight end. He's still going to get a piece of him on the way out, and then he's going to widen the guy who's got a long way to go, in this case Myles Garrett, or you try to get in between the tight end and the tackle, and then you're going to get bumped, and you're going to be head up on the tackle, kind of playing patty cake. So it works on even the best players in the game. The one complaint I have about Myles Garrett is like he's usually in the same spot. And that is a lot easier to contend with than another guy that you can just move around and say, you know what I'd like to see him do at some point is like when the tight end settles in and everybody gets lined up, him and the fucking 3 technique switch. Put the 3 technique in that gap between the tackle and the tight end and let the 3 technique, let the tackle make a decision. Are you going to block down on the 3 who's now parked over our liability of a guard, or are you going to are you going to do the opposite? And it's kind of a pick your poison thing. I just haven't seen Myles move around enough to where it's like they get him out of trouble. He also looks tired, man. I mean, like, to me, just looks a little bit like fatigued by this whole thing, and I would fucking be too. I'd love to see somebody go out and save him.
I would love to see Devon Achane saved as well.
Achane's going to be the headliner. Yeah.
Rookie deal. Any team could fit him under the cap right now.
There's a Seattle rumor that's been popping up about him today.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah, I think the Houston thing's a lot more exciting, whether it's Breece Hall or Achane.
Achane would go to Seattle and get 10 carries a game after
Yeah, he'd be
Charbonnet's
third.
15.
Yeah, that's the problem. I look up there and I guess
You guys ever seen Kenneth Walker run the ball?
Kenneth Walker's toting the fucking rock this
Might be
year,
the best
dude.
player in football.
But I think Houston, like, for one of these guys would be great. And then obviously, like, Kansas City badly needs rush. I would take a flyer on any of those guys if I were Kansas City and I could work it out. I don't know what I think if Kansas City makes a move, they might be looking at a tackle. So you look at like a Zach Sealer. I think Tampa Bay needs a tackle. I think Tampa Bay needs more than one thing defensively. But this is the yard sale game, and things are going to be getting blown over in the yard.
If Philly needs a corner, Tyson Campbell could use a change of scenery.
Yeah,
Already?
After 2 pass deflections last week.
give him some time.
Played well. Looked good. Looked good enough.
Do we see Shador this game?
Here's the problem: if Shador plays and there's 40-mile-an-hour winds, people are going to call the Browns the worst names in the history of the world. So, like, Browns can't win this week. Like, if Shador plays, they're going to be like, they're sabotaging this guy. If he doesn't play, they're going to be like, put him in the fucking game. There's going to be, like, sheet metal, like, blowing across the stadium, like knocking people over.
Browns fans are great.
What's going on down there, Ollie? It's raining.
And Ollie Gordon's in this game.
Yeah. That's going to be the type of game it is. And then you're going to be like, oh, put Shador in. Shador's going to be over there, like, getting blown around, blown all over the stadium like a piece of paper.
Bro, how about the fans? How about Shiloh went to the last game and he's walking around with
Saying he was Shador?
with a Shador Sanders jersey on, saying that he was Shador, and people are coming up to him, and he's like, "You know who I am?" And they're like, "Yeah, you're Shador." And I just always think it's really funny, just fans who think they're just super fans of a team, and
But they're
it's just
not.
like you don't know like the main the controversy around your team right now, the main person that you're running up to, you're
What he
so
even looks
sure
like.
what he
But
even
you
looks
got
like.
takes. You definitely got takes.
Hey, what percentage of the population do y'all think is left-handed?
13,
28.
13.7.
17%.
10 to 12%.
Wow.
Pretty close.
Good
Who
job, a
else
couple
said
of
10?
you.
Calbs.
Good
Oh,
job,
Tanner,
a
good
couple of
job.
you.
What are you,
This
lefty?
sounds made up. First battle between left-handed quarterbacks in 19 years.
Shut the fuck up, dude. This game's got everything.
Tua and Dylan Gabriel.
Yo, this game's got everything.
First time since Michael Vick and Chris Sims.
This game
Oh,
has
wow.
everything.
It's got everything.
It's
This game,
It's honestly two guys with Pacific Islander heritage playing in a fucking hurricane.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that statement.
Call it a tsunami.
Might be good for
The
Dylan.
heavy-
Everybody
Heavyweight
got quiet. They're
potential of
like,
this
you
game
can't say Pacific
weird.
Islander. I'm like, what? You can't say Pacific
No,
Islander?
you can. Dylan Gabriel might.
Well, the whites
wind-
aren't
Whoa,
allowed.
whoa.
The wind might help Dylan Gabriel. He doesn't pass the ball far.
Yeah, I just want to see. I want to see chaos. Okay, so that game's exciting to me. And then the next one would be I'd probably put Raiders Chiefs because the Chiefs are playing this game, and right now they look like the best offense in football.
31.7 points per game over the last 3.
Yeah, right now they look like the best offense in football, and that's without Josh Simmons, who we don't know what's going on. I mean, like, again, I said this on I got a theory, but it's so irresponsible to even like with this type of thing to even speculate. I hope he's back at some point because that young man's got a bright future. Like, I hope everything's okay with him. But if you're a Chiefs fan, you really hope he's bright future in the whole thing. But he is a very important player. If you want to go on this run and continue to look the way you've looked offensively, like, he's a big part of it. So Patrick Graham, who's done a really admirable job with this group. The Raiders have muddied it up in the past playing this team. I've seen Aiden O'Connell damn near beat the fucking Chiefs before. So this is not a game that I'm convinced is going to be a blowout, which is crazy to think. If you've got the two tackles that you had last week and Max Crosby's out there, he can. This game's almost worth the price of admission just to see Crosby and Mahomes.
Yep.
Two of the best players on the planet,
Mm-hmm.
and two guys who are like Jordan-like competitive, and have a healthy respect for each other. But he's going to be trying to tee off and disrupt this game. That call, the fucking, I want to feed you here a little bit, Nate, because I thought you would bring this up. But the Chiefs, although they got it right on the field, if Dan Campbell's telling the truth, that's kind of fucked up. New York can't be calling and reviewing scoring play penalties. You're only supposed to be able to review scoring plays, not the penalties on said plays. So that's something to monitor. Are there any other fishy Chiefs officiating situations this weekend? You know, if I'm the NFL and if people think this is real, that like Goodell just turns the dial one way or another every game, like he's just like, it's like a big wheel that he turns, and it, you know what I'm imagining?
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
up in some like clock tower and he's like, Chiefs. Like, if that's how it works, then he's going to be turning it the Raiders' way this week because they got to get the heat off
He
him.
never has to turn it. It's always on the Chiefs. So he doesn't have to turn it. It's just it's stuck there.
Yeah.
It's
There wa-
stuck there.
There was that other call, like Patrick Mahomes ran in for the touchdown, spun the ball on Branch,
No
flex.
Oh, you sound like the guy in Detroit who wanted 4. I want 4 personal foul penalties. He spun the ball. He pointed at him. He did this to his chest. And then he walked away.
Bro, like
Jail.
yo, they fined Hollywood Brown after the game
Dude.
when in the first drive of that game, he punched someone in the face. He should have been kicked out the game. The refs, they definitely favor Kansas City with certain stuff.
What other calls were you?
And it's just that
No, but what calls? Can you name a few calls that you didn't like that have gone the Chiefs' way over the years?
Well, I mean, the Jacksonville game, the apparent pass interference when
Do you
when
know how many
Parker
penalties were
Washington
called
got-
on the
got-
Chiefs in that game? Take a guess.
We're not talking about that though.
We are. Well, that's
Are-
exactly what we're talking about.
Are we? Are we talking about the calls that they're being assisted with, or they're not getting? Maybe the refs feel like, hey, we gave them a call, so let's miss this one once in a while to balance it out.
Let's just call them for like 3x the penalties we're going to call the Jags for.
It's the critical ones, though, Chris. On Monday, did y'all discuss the OPI that Mahomes himself overturned on the TD to Worthy?
Yes, the 1 yard,
One
1 yard,
yard.
1
One
yard,
yard.
the
One
1 yard, 1 yard.
1 yard.
How do you
But
convince?
can I
refs
ask you a
to pick
question?
up
Can I
the-
ask you a question?
Yeah.
Was it not a 1 yard situation?
No.
Yes, it
it
was.
was
No,
2
no.
yards.
Oh, it definitely
It
was.
was 2 yards.
think
It definitely was.
No, it was 2 yards.
Go ahead. How much money you want to bet?
It was 2 yards.
How much money you want to bet?
It was 2 yards.
How much money you want to bet?
Like, what are we betting first?
That the contact occurred within 1 yard of line of scrimmage.
Contact.
I
Who-
feel like
Who's
I don't
the
know.
intermediary third party?
Nolan.
Nolan.
You can freeze. Get back to us. Pull that film up, sideline footage, please, and freeze it because we don't want to get fined by the NFL.
So wait, but like,
God
but
forbid
look,
I got
even
fined
if you're right,
defending.
look,
Read a
Chris,
screen
but like,
grab.
Stop
even-
preparing for me to be right.
No, even if you are right, but look, even if you are right, the independent referee on the TV said you're wrong because he clearly said
Oh
it should
my
have been
God, the
a
independent
penalty.
referee's never been wrong.
No, but I hear you. But then why is he there? Why is he there
so now you're
telling
mad
us?
at the broadcast.
Yes, because if I'm a casual fan and I don't know all the rules and I'm listening to you right now as a casual
you're
fan.
gonna win this argument because most people think like you.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, but like how are
Yeah.
but as you're watching a game, how are you supposed to get over that if even if you're saying is right and hey, look, you show us that this is that, but in the real time when you're watching the game and you have this independent ref that you think knows all the calls, knows what's going to go
Dude,
on.
they put PFF grades up during the starting lineups.
Yeah.
The independent ref is far from the only problem with the broadcast. I got no problem with people that say the Chiefs get calls.
Mm-hmm.
Do they get them at a higher clip than everybody else? I'm sure there's some data that supports that premise if you look hard enough, but then compare it to the other really good teams in the league.
Yeah.
Don't compare it to every team in the league. Compare it to the other really good
Yeah.
teams in the league. Every team gets calls. You know how I know? Because if I get on the internet now, all I hear is fans complaining and crying about fucking officiating. Every fan base. So either they're all making it up except for the teams that play the Chiefs, or the officials are just generally inconsistent.
Yeah, they are.
That's Occam's razor.
What's that?
That means the most likely outcome in a situation.
No, I agree. And that's why I said bring it back to last year, green light, when I said the refs should have their own freaking PFF. PFF, hey,
I agree.
do their damn stats,
I
bro.
agree.
How about you
But they
do
do
their
get-
damn
they do
stats
get graded.
and let us see it. Let us
Yeah.
see it on a bigger scale so we can
Yeah.
understand, be like, yay, we are acknowledging that they did miss these calls and we're keeping a total because it's just one of those things that if the
You should
same,
start it.
if the same refs are missing those calls and there's a tally sheet for it, there's no way in hell that those refs should be reffing in the playoffs, should have a chance to ref the Super Bowl because
But
for
that's
us,
that's the truth, though.
yeah,
So
What do you
I
got?
got it.
play.
Okay.
That's
2 yards. Okay, let's see it.
Okay, you see where the red line is?
Yes.
Okay. Look at that. Look at that shit,
The
bro.
contact is in the
Look
end
at that
zone
shit.
by
Go back.
Juju.
The contact continues through the end zone. The contact is made at the 1 yard line, bro.
I thought we were talking about Xavier Worthy last week. Point is, they do this every week.
This is what he's talking about.
Okay. I was talking about Xavier Worthy against the Lions, which, watching it back, it's pretty close.
Thank you for being intellectually honest.
It's close.
So yeah, I started this thing by saying I got the problem with the problem for me is like what the Lions fans are complaining about. Lions fans shouldn't be complaining about we shouldn't have. Oh, Lions fans don't want me to talk about them. I'll talk about you during the Chiefs breakdown. Lions fans all week, they have a gripe on this. If Dan Campbell's telling the truth, and I don't know the man to lie, never heard him tell a lie, then maybe it's the league. Like they're working on something where in a year we're going to have a new rule where New York can correct even penalties on scoring plays.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cape for him. It's the wrong thing optically. Did it get the call right? Absolutely. Was that a penalty on Detroit? Absolutely. Do Detroit fans wish that they got away with a penalty? Absolutely they do, but they didn't. And the way that New York allegedly piped into the game is a bad look for pro football, because what it does to me is it feeds this conspiratorial thing.
Absolutely. And I think that's my biggest point is hating, just as an ex-player and like loving to watch the game and watch NFL. Like, I hate when I hear that from fans where they're really trying to convince me or other people, like, I know this is.
Well, I know this is. Everybody
rigged.
on the planet has been wronged.
Yeah,
and chances are, like, they're the only person that ever got wronged.
Yeah.
And fan bases are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Every fan base has an axe to grind, and it wasn't our fault we lost the football game. That is the way of the world.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to argue with every person online.
Yeah,
but Detroit has a point though.
Yeah, I don't want it to ruin
the
viewing experience, because that's what it ends up doing. It's gonna ruin the viewing experience. It's gonna muddy every call refs make or whatever, and it's just like the next thing is gonna be like, all right, I don't even know what the next thing is. Like,
I don't know either.
Yeah, because
the next thing is Saints Bears.
Yeah.
Saints-Bears, to me, is going to be an interesting one. The Rattler revenge game. I think this is flying under the radar. Spencer Rattler's got a big opportunity, man. This team has, and I thought Chicago did a really nice job of finding a way to win a close game last week. Like, that was the one thing we talked about this Tuesday. They lost all those close games last year. Like, go down the list. Like, they lost probably 7 one-score games, I think. And not all of them are a touchdown. A lot of them are 3 points. A lot of them are 2 points, whatever it is. They found a way to win in a big spot. And it involved the kicking game. It involved the turnover that was an unforced error by Washington, but a turnover all the same. And they found a way to win. And listen, I know a lot of people came into that game wanting to win the argument at quarterback, second-year quarterback. I personally think that Jaden Daniels is a better player than Caleb Williams. It's also not politics to me. Mm-hmm. It has become political for some, but if you were looking for like a victory lap after this game wasn't the game. I don't think either quarterback played that well.
No.
I don't think either quarterback played that well. The impressive thing for me watching that game was the screen game for Chicago is lethal. The run game got going. Chicago's got more explosives this year than they had this time last year by far, I think. Like, you are seeing signs of progress. And I think, we've sung Caleb's praises for the better part of a month. This wasn't his best game. They found a way to win it. That's okay. We just watched Josh Allen, who's one of the best quarterbacks on the planet, in my opinion, over the last 2 years because of the way Mahomes has played. He's been the best quarterback on the planet night in and night out. He looked like shit at times, like made boneheaded, like, there are ebbs and flows. So what I'm saying is they're at the point now where the quarterback doesn't have to be perfect. You can still win games. As he continues to progress, this team's going to be a lot better. And I think this is one of those teams, Chicago, by the end of the year that people are like afraid to play. But they're still working on a couple of things. You can kind of see it. And I think, like, off a big win like that, one of the big tests for me is like when you play a team like the Saints and they come into town and it, it's a sleepy 1 p.m. spot. You just had a big win on Monday night. It's been a short week. It's a physical football game.
5-point favorites.
5 points favorites. Saints coming to town. Saints have been quietly playing with everybody. And they're quarterbacked by a guy who I think's played a lot better than people give him credit for on a losing team, who got his job taken by the quarterback in 2021 in Oklahoma, and he's saying all the right things at the podium, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one means a lot to him. And so this is going to be an interesting game. And I want to give a shout-out to
they're cordial.
To Darnell Wright via Brett Coleman, who, again, is one of the best people in the business when it comes to football. He tweeted this today. Wright is allowing a pressure rate of only 2.1% on true dropbacks, 1 pressure on 48 reps, only 2 tackles in the league, better than that. Joe Alt, and Brian O'Neill. That's pretty awesome. You're starting to see. I think Montez Sweat has been very good this year rushing the passer. Like, you've got some cornerstone guys, and like obviously Sweat, the move to get Sweat preceded, the change into the guard and everything. But I think this is a big opportunity for them to look like a professional football team against the team that they're supposed to beat. Coming off a Monday night game that was a little bit sloppy. I think it was sloppy on both sides. I think that's fair to say, Noel.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, and I also think something that the turnovers from the Commanders hit a little bit and kind of setting them back offensively is that they were having a lot of success against these Bears corners. They struggled with Jalen Johnson being injured. They got Gordon back, but Wright and Stevenson both got beat for big plays. I think the Saints have some really favorable matchups on the perimeter, actually, with Olave and Shaheed.
Yeah, but trade bait,
which definitely working in Rattler's favor.
Fuck. Oh, fuck. I gave out the Saints, and their two top receivers are on the block. Somebody made a funny joke. Well, it's not very funny if you imagine it happening, but, like, if the Giants got Olave and, like, the first day Scatterbo just, like, fucking headbutted him and, like, put him in a concussion protocol,
All that.
that'd be a bad deal.
Is Kamara tradable?
Yeah, but you know what's crazy?
Totally.
He's become the Damian Lillard, although Lillard eventually was like, yo, fuck this shit.
He went back.
Well, yeah, and then he went back. But, like, Kamara, he wants to be a Saint for life. Now, I don't know if that's smoke and mirrors, and we're going to see a move anyways. Like, maybe – I don't know what that is. Like, what's the angle?
You're just cool. You're like –
No, I know. Maybe you're just like – maybe you're like, hey, this is – I'm really 10 toes down. I'm like
set.
a New Orleans
My
guy
family's
now.
here. My kids are in school. Like, I don't want to think about leaving them here, making that decision. It's just like – it's whatever. And if you feel like you only have a few more years left.
So he's more than a football player.
Look at that. Don't do it.
He was about to pounce on Josh Allen because he said Haley Seinfeld taught him that he was more than a football player. He was going with that angle.
That's not the garbage you need filled into your head right now when you're trying to go back-to-back MVP.
Bro, who cares? Like, that is the most benign thing to say in the world, dog.
I feel like if you're talking about it in an interview about like what you're like about you and your relationship, you shouldn't do that. You should.
Dog, I have seen this guy lower his fucking head and try to run over 260-pound players this football season. Like, he's got no regard for human life, his or anyone else's.
No,
at the end of the game,
though.
It's his perfect right.
He does now, though. You're proving my point.
What do you mean?
He does have regard now because he's thinking more. He's more than a football player, bro. It's his mindset. It's his mindset.
I'm not taking the cheese.
And you see the interview came out just in time, right after they're losing games. You know, Drake May's the big boy now up there in the AFC East, so it's all good. Josh Allen, maybe he needs this. He needs to not be on top all the time. He needs something to chase. So I'm happy.
He's chasing Mahomes.
Yeah.
He's chasing Mahomes. He doesn't have to chase Drake May yet. Yet. We'll see.
We'll see.
Spencer Rattler better passer rating than Bo Nix.
Ooh.
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh,
It's all right. Look at
Kyler Murray.
win totals.
Michael Penix. You got it.
Records.
You got it. There it is.
Oh, I like that.
Look at
That's a
record.
good one.
Look at win totals.
Yeah, win totals. Look at those win totals.
And the loss totals as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Just read them left
Just
or
comp
right.
'em.
Because Trevor has more than one. How about that?
I like, in all seriousness, I think I do believe it that people made a big deal about the Josh quote, but I do believe it. Where we are in the world today, I believe it. Just looking around, they're like, maybe not everybody's smart. I'm like, if I were to show somebody a football game and where the Bills are playing, and I would be like, spot the guy who's more than a football player.
DeMar.
You think a lot of people would be like, yeah, that big son of a bitch who just fucking launched himself like a salmon swimming upstream into like 4 defensive linemen, or threw the ball sidearm for 30 yards to Shakir off his back foot. Like, you think
He's thinking about life after football.
You think he's thinking about what's next? What is he thinking? The fucking Cantaloupe Festival in Fireball, California? What he didn't expound on it. What? Okay, Josh. In what ways are you more than a football player? Arts and crafts? Like, what are you doing these days,
He's a
dude?
husband.
So far, all I see is like you fucking just playing football.
Yeah.
4-2 last year, by the way.
Yeah.
He's frozen.
No, I'm not frozen.
What's your prediction for the Bills? I need a real prediction though.
They have to be second in
You
the
can't
AFC
speak in
East, right?
generalities and play devil's advocate. You just got to predict something.
But it's what I predicted before. I think they're
Pats
gonna-
win the East.
I think the Pats win
Okay.
the East. Like I like that pick on banking on everyone's hype around Drake May.
Do you know? And I love Drake May,
Mm-hmm.
and I do think he's going to be a problem. Like just showing up in that division.
I also like
makes-
their coach. I also
and
like
Vrabel is going to be a
like-
problem.
And their schedule.
And their schedule. And this week they're going to try to absolutely. We could just put that game last because it's going to be a murder. Like they're going to try. They're legitimately. He's going to try. You know what's funny in the NFL is like you can always bank on the interim coach being like. And I looked up. There were some really good figures on interim head coaches and how they win and cover the first week and all that shit's cute. But like Mike Vrabel
It's
wants
going
to strangle everybody in that building.
what I know.
He wants.
And whether he's talking,
He's
he
going
doesn't seem
to-
like a coach that's talking about it, but it's just his attitude this week going in there.
Yeah.
It's going to show all the guys and the vets in there, like Stephon Diggs, and maybe some of the rookies don't know, like, hey, like, it doesn't seem like this is a special game, but guys, like, this is a special game. We better be on our shit this week in practice
No
because
question.
our coach wants to go down there.
Well, you
and
know,
really make
if
a
you love your
statement.
coach, you want to do what that coach wants to do,
Absolutely.
and he doesn't even need to say it. He probably underplay it all week. He's gonna be like, "Hey guys, no big deal. Like it's another game," and there's be like, "All right, okay, Braves," but like, they are gonna try to. They're gonna be out for blood.
Well,
Absolutely.
And I know McCoy's a good coach, and Cam Ward's gonna be a good player and everything, but like
They gonna
it's
like
just,
Cam Ward.
it's here's what I was gonna say. I think, and this is the frustrating thing about Buffalo, is give Josh that defense. I think they win the Super Bowl.
Who did the Pats defense?
Yeah, with Christian Gonzalez back in that front. Give them just one of those fucking guys in the front. The problem with the Bills, and when we talk about the Bills, and we're going backwards a little bit here, but it's an interesting conversation because I know, like, you and I with this whole thing with the Bills, and you like to bust my balls, you call him my man crush and all that shit. You got a man crush too, by the way.
Who's that?
Drake May.
I do. I like Drake.
It's a little
good.
weird.
It's not
Man crushing a white
it's not
boy.
weird.
That's a little weird.
It's not weird.
You know? So, anyways, that's crazy.
I can't crush on a white guy.
Well, I don't know.
It's like, dang.
Hey, damn, dude.
Like-
So, man crushing that little white boy, dude. So anyways, here's my thing. You know, a lot of people come out of that game on Monday and they go, see what? They fucking the whole receiving core is hurt. They're going to fucking guys with shadow pictures in the program on money downs. Shavers not sitting down in the zone. Fucking they're handing the ball to Elijah Moore on a jet sweep, which is such a bad call that Sean McDermott was like, I reprimanded Joe Brady. Like, he was my child. He was like, I told him that's not like us, which is like something that usually you keep in house. Like, but he's like, I fucking hated that call. Josh flipped the ball like an idiot on fourth down, whatever. He owns that. But their whole receiving core is hurt. I thought Atlanta played really well, and I think Ulbricht's a hell of a coordinator. The problem is on defense. The reason they lost that game, it's partially because of defense. Defense can't let a team jump you like that on the road. Like, you got to be more stout than that. To say they couldn't have scored 24 points would be intellectually dishonest. So it kind of is hung on the offense. The problem with the defense is this. How did the season end last year, Fax? With Kyer Elam getting lit up. Well, the rookie corner they drafted, I don't know when we're going to see him. You got safeties back there that, like, their problems in the run fit, their problems in the pass game. it's like an annual tradition of the whole fucking team being hurt. They played 3 defensive tackles. You played in the NFL defensive tackle. What's it like when 3 guys are up?
It's hard.
It's hard. And some of those guys, I've barely ever seen them play. So I think the problems persist for that team. Like, do I feel good about the Bills? Like, not great, but it ain't because of Josh. It's because of the fucking defense. It's the same problem they had last year. So we'll be interested down the stretch to see. And as evidenced by our whole conversation, we are taking the Pats seriously.
Have to.
You have to. And this weekend's going to be a game where I think Vrabel keeps his foot on the gas pedal. That 7-point that Steve gave out Pats -7.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
It was a really good play.
And you saw Mike Vrabel. He said he reached out to Brian Callahan after he got fired. Do you think he would have done that if it was Mike McDaniel first coach fired, or speaking to the Patriots Titans, this week?
Oh,
you're
asking if Mike McDaniel got fired, would he call Mike McDaniel?
Yeah, if he would have said that,
no.
Right, exactly.
It'd be random as fuck.
Right,
He's
right.
obviously calling to be like, how about those assholes?
Right.
That's a really tough place to coach, huh? Tell me more.
How did you get fired?
Yeah.
This is how I got fired. How did you get fired?
But I don't mean to be dismissive of the Pats. You know me, like love Drake May, love Vrabel.
Mm-hmm.
I might have 2 man crushes before this is all said and done.
Man.
But I was so disappointed in the defense, man. To go down there and fucking play like that, like it was a video game, bro. They almost scored at the half. They decided to run a play, and Atlanta almost scored. If the guy didn't walk out of bounds, it was like fucking
inch.
And believe it or not, I don't know why I always feel this way about the Bills, and it might not be 100% true, but it is true for a lot of teams. If you slow down Cook and you knock out that run game, like when they're kind of one-dimensional and they're relying on Josh to either hit these passes or scramble and make something happen, I don't think the Bills are that good. Like, I just feel like when Cook is running well, that team, it just looks like everything is clicking all cylinders.
Oh, the run game's a big part of it. No question.
Yeah, and I just feel like the last game, like Cook,
No, they were breaking off chunks. After the half, they came back and got on the – they abandoned it.
But I feel like teams kind of – I don't know why they do it, because the Jaguars do it too, but teams, when they force you to abandon it or not just keep going
the game
with it.
Script. Game script, when you don't have the receivers outside and you're just trying to chuck the ball around, the biggest mistake they made was like, it's fucking 3rd and 1. Just push that motherfucker. It's still legal.
You got Josh Allen.
I know it backfired in the playoffs, and that was a great call. There wasn't anything wrong with that officiating in that game. It's a joke. I was on the Bills. Okay, so we've hit the whole 1 p.m. slate. The Panthers and Jets. I was this close to giving out the Jets.
Oh.
I think this is a Jets spot. Why you did?
No, I considered it for a little while.
Well, the reason is it's like, why are the Jets? Are they favored or catching a point? Basically, a pick 'em.
It's gone back and forth. It is now
the backup running back.
Panthers 1.5.
And I said to Nolan and the guys, as soon as the day ended Sunday, I was like, bro, like whatever, you can bet the Jets next week, like whatever. And I love Bryce Young, and I'm all on the Panthers bandwagon and everything. Not saying they're going to go in places this year. I think they're a flawed team. But like, I just feel like the thing that got lost in the shuffle in London was how well the defense played for the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to see tight man coverage like that anymore if you're Justin Fields. And Aaron Glenn, whether you like it or not, stood up there and had his back and said, hey, you know what? Like, he's had some good games. He's had some bad games. There's something about this week that makes me think they're going to come back and play their best game.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is, like, the Panthers pass rush, they've done a great job of stopping the run. Doesn't scare you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say it doesn't scare you. Those tackles need a fucking break, man. I'd like people to give Membu and the other guy a break, because over the first 2 years of Olu Fashanu's career, I think he showed a lot of promise, and I think the Membu kid's got some promise too. It's a fucked up scheme. It's a fucked up situation. Garrett Williams, I feel terrible for him. And although Justin Fields held the ball for an eternity last week, and a lot of that was on him, like I feel bad for him too because like that game plan was terrible in London. It can only go better for them. So I do think this is a spot that, and I gave out the under. I think it's a lower scoring game. And even though my Prince is playing in it, Prince Bryce, I worry about this spot for the Panthers.
Prince Bryce is 1-15 straight up in his first 16 road starts.
Yikes.
Playing
So
great at home.
there you go.
This one's on the road.
And so you figure if he's not playing great, I mean, I just think this is a lower scoring game. That's all.
I'm wondering who's the Jets' backup running back because a coach like Aaron Glenn,
Isaiah Davis.
a coach like Aaron Glenn cannot be happy with his starting running back sending out subliminal messages on Twitter and social media all week with the hashtag free20, insinuating he does not want to be there. He doesn't strike me as a coach that would like that.
No, he probably doesn't, but he will probably free 20. They're going to free 20. As soon as they can open the doors for him, they're going to free 20. And it'd be interesting to send him down to Houston. Who are the other players on the Jets? We did this with the Browns. Like I mentioned Jermaine Johnson. Who are the other players on the Jets that could be trade bait?
Well,
Will
Sauce?
McDonald.
Do you think Sauce could get out of there or no?
No, you don't part ways with a number one corner like that. In my opinion, like I would rather
They just extended him too. I think they see him as part of the nucleus moving forward.
I would rather trade for some. I would rather, if I had to, and I'm a big Quinnen Williams fan, but he's the type of guy that could garner like a big haul. I think like somebody who absolutely needs him, like the Chiefs. Now, they don't have the room, cap space, but I'm just giving you an example of a team with like a dire need for a pass rusher or a defensive tackle, or like the Bucks or something like that. Now, the problem with the Bucks is like, what's Quinnen Williams' contract?
If my memory serves me, I think he's got a pretty low base salary this year. That would make him. I remembered incorrectly. $15 million base salary this year, so
Yeah, it'd have
a little
to be
bit
somebody
tougher
with
to move him.
It'd have to be somebody with a lot of fucking cap space. And you know, the fact of the matter is you'd have him for a couple years down the line. So, and I don't even know if he's really on the block.
Harrison Phillips, he could slide a couple places too. He just came here or
Cheap.
came to New York from Minnesota.
He looks good out there. I
Yeah.
haven't seen everything, but he looks good out there.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
We
If
also talked about Jermaine Johnson too, right, Chris?
Yep, brought him up. Jermaine Johnson would be a good one. I think the Eagles will look at Jermaine Johnson. There's just not a lot. We're talking about the guy tonight who's sitting out in Trey Hendrickson, but like there's not a lot of like edge rushers that there's some proven ones like Bradley Chubb, but he's also got an injury history. Jalen Phillips got an injury history. Two guys in the same spot that like you might think twice about because of that. Edge rushers, there's just not a ton of them on the market.
And I don't know if you saw Dan Orlovsky today was hoping for or pushing a Garrett Wilson trade, saying, in New York he might get wasted. Garrett Wilson said or put up on Instagram a picture of him with the caption, "Never wasted," shortly after that was on ESPN.
Dude, I got to say he's one of my favorite players in the league just because of the way he carries himself. I mean, the way he plays, but the way he plays in turmoil and the way he carries himself, like his mindset, bro, like he was mad last week at Aaron Glenn. Who wasn't mad at Aaron Glenn at the half? I'm pretty sure, though, and people say like, oh, well, Garrett Wilson probably hates him now and all this shit. I don't think he's like that. I think, honestly, they probably had a conversation about it and move forward. This is going to be a big week for the Jets to try to get that win. I think they get the win this week.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson not at practice Thursday.
And if you want a little bet action, Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard over rushing totals because the Jets are 25th in EPA per rush or EPA against inside runs.
Jets defense 11th in EPA, against the rush, but as Reed points out, 25th against inside runs. That's the button for them. That's the button.
Inside run.
Teams needing running backs. You talk about Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba.
Do you?
And
Do you talk about Chuba Hubbard?
that's what our
I think you
Panthers
do.
fan called in the other day. He said, hey, let's get Chuba up out of there. Get something back. Maybe a middle linebacker is what they say.
You know, it's so funny what AI tells you sometimes. Several teams have been reported as needing running backs with the New Orleans Saints, Cleveland Browns, and Kansas City Chiefs. 2 of those 3 are not buyers. Maybe I'll dive deeper into AI mode. Let's see what they say.
I believe the dive deeper takes like 10 minutes to get you a result.
No, it doesn't. We're
Oh,
deeper. We're deeper.
Okay, cool.
Denver Broncos.
Ooh.
You want Chuba Hubbard
No, I'm good there.
to join that room?
Pittsburgh
We
Steelers.
wouldn't play him. We just keep running Jaleel McLaughlin.
Anyways, trade deadline. If it could just happen, that'd be great. Because we just keep talking about. Okay, the late window. We got the best game in the late window is probably, honestly, as bad as I want to watch Giants Broncos, and I will, is Colts Chargers. Chargers are wearing the Air Coryells. And then next week, that's really what they're calling them. And then the next week, it is funny though. The next week, they're wearing my favorite ones, the Natron Meanses.
Yes.
Those are fucking awesome.
Yep.
The all blue.
The mean.
Yeah, the means. And then I said it going into last week. Like at some point the Colts are going to drop a game. They're not just going to keep winning. I think most people know that. And when they do, everybody's going to say they're trash and all that, and that's not going to be true. I think the Colts are a good football team. I think this is the week that they do take a loss. If Ward is down, he's still in concussion protocol. That's going to be a big one because, the ways that the Chargers, in my opinion, are very human right now is up front offensive line and really honestly just not having enough guys outside that scare you. I mean, you got Quentin Johnson outside, you got Lab McConkey, you've got some weapons, but like when a team's down a corner, when a team's not great stopping the run, right? Like, and you just had this Kamani Vidal game last week, and but you're kind of like, take it with a grain of salt. It's the Dolphins. Like, if a team runs for 150 on the Colts, like that's not a crowning achievement either. I'm not putting them on the level of the Dolphins at all, but I do think you should be able to run the football. I think that the Chargers are also feeling like, hey, if we can win this game, hey, Joe Alt's practice window open, Mac's 21-day window open. You could get Mac back this weekend. And Perryman, a guy who a lot of people forgot about, he might be back. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, including Andre James kind of working in and taking some first-team snaps at center. Like, they're tinkering, and there's going to be some guys coming back. They had those guys step up in the run game last week. Vidal, who was really good with the ball in his hands. I don't want to take away too much because it was Miami, but it was Miami. This will be a bigger test. And then Haskins he made 2 blocks in one play on that beautiful Herbert play that set them up and put them in field goal range, set them up for the win. Blitz pickup. And then sprinting down the field to pick up another dude behind McConkey. That's the kind of effort
you expect from a Michigan man.
Yeah, and a guy playing for his coach. And like Harbaugh, how we always joke about Harbaugh and like how everything's the greatest play. He did it. I think he did it. No, he didn't do it this week, but he did compare Justin Herbert to Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. Here it is. Jim Harbaugh found a little time to unwind Sunday evening as he watched a movie on the 5-hour flight back to Los Angeles. Harbaugh's flick of choice, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. It didn't take long for the Chargers head coach to notice similarities between Tom Cruise's character Ethan Hunt and Harbaugh's quarterback Justin Herbert. He's like watching on the plane. He's like, huh. Like, who notices that? Like, who notices? Whose first thought is like, he's a lot like my quarterback.
Harbaugh's just looking for comps between anyone and
here's
Herbert.
the quote. I caught a little bit on the plane on the way back from Miami. Harbaugh said, Ethan Hunt and Justin Herbert, people don't realize all the things that they do. Mission Impossible kind of says it all. He's like Ethan Hunt, Harbaugh added about Herbert. And that was wild, like the way he switched hands with the ball and like shrugged off Jalen Phillips. Like he is a stud, but baked into that comparison is an admission that he's doing a lot with not a lot around him right now. And so that to me is just that's been the story with the Chargers. The Colts, I thought Daniel Jones looked a little more human last week. Like this was not his best game. And so I feel like this is a game the Chargers win. I don't know. You got to keep the explosives to a minimum. Luckily, that's what the Chargers do well. They keep things in front of them. Colts are hunting explosives, 6th in the league with 16% explosive rate. Chargers 3rd in the league, allowing 9% explosive plays. Although they have been let off the hook about a few. Just go back to your Denver game and a few other spots where I was like, if you have better quarterback play or teams put it together, they can get behind this defense. But for whatever reason, Minter has done a really good job, and they've done this without Khalil Mack in the game. Now, last week I did see Owe get a sack. It was like a rollout. He kind of like slid under the tight end and made a play. He's going to help them. But here's a matchup that low-key I can't wait to see. I'm a big tart fan, dude. That dude's
like an apple tart.
He's a stud, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the fruit. He's a good dynamite, though.
I was trying to think of other tarts.
Yeah, it's just one. Does anybody even know the player I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
No tart. I think
Nolan does. I'm a big Tart fan, and I want to see him lock horns with Quentin Nelson a little bit. Like I think he's bounced around a little bit. I think he's found a nice home in LA with the Chargers, and he's played real well this year. Quentin Nelson looks a little bit timeless this year. He looks a little bit like he's in a time capsule. He still looks like the young Quentin Nelson, and this offensive line is one of the best in the league. So this is a big test for the Chargers, but I think this is one they win. Tyler Warren's developed into being just a nightmare. And so, I'm kind of curious how they match up with Tyler Warren. I think Derwin James factors into that conversation. I think we're going to have a fun game to watch in the 4 p.m.s. This is going to be a hell of a game.
Do you put any stock into the Colts' schedule up until this game? The fact that they played the Dolphins and Tua, the Broncos and Bo Nix, the Titans and Cam Ward, lost to the Rams, but then the Raiders with Geno, and then the Cardinals with.
What's he doing with Bo Nix there?
That's crazy.
Well, it was 28 points. We honestly shouldn't have won. They shouldn't have won that game.
Well, that's a division game.
Yeah.
What's the implication there with listing a bunch of bad quarterbacks? And
not a division game. Sorry, I'm all.
No. But hey, just firing off the quarterback. It was the defense. Honestly, I was trying to ask and just make sure that there was no. Hey, these are the teams that they played, and someone could make an argument
that's an argument that I've seen people make. I've seen people make that point, but I thought they looked really. They looked good against the Rams. Mm-hmm. We came out of the Rams game and we're like, "Yo, wow, they're actually good." They just went toe to toe with the Rams. They kind of could have beat them. And it's the same thing when they play the Broncos and it comes down to a kick, and obviously it goes one way, but they were beating man coverage. Daniel Jones still looked like Daniel Jones. Look at how the Broncos have made other teams look because they have a really good offensive line. The Colts have a very good offensive line. They have a run game. They have a great slot receiver. They have big targets. They have receiver room that's 4 or 5 deep. They really are offensively. They're built to last.
Well, and 0 turnovers in 4 of their 6 games,
which is big. And last week I thought he put the ball in harm's way a little bit more. This is going to be the week where I just think it comes back down to earth a little bit. I still think they're going to be a good team after the game. I'm not going to do the thing on Monday, even if I'm right. I just think the Chargers are a team that's on the cusp of being really good if they get their guys back. We'll see who they get back this week, and I also think this is a matchup where they can kind of overcome some of the deficiencies that they've had because of who they're playing. You think about that. You got to block 2 guys inside. I mean, that's number one for me. And I think they can do that. I worry more about Justin dealing with edge rushers.
And the 2 tackles are question marks at this point in the week,
which is a big deal. I might just put this bet in right now.
Bang bang.
Now the Giants and Broncos is going to be fun. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be fun.
Macon and I were talking about a little bet between us.
Yeah, what do you guys want to do?
I don't know. I had this face paint. I'll have to paint Nolan's face here at some point, but where the van was involved.
Van's gone. I want Cowboy to smoke some darts. Should Giants
He has to
win.
smoke cigarettes the whole show.
Yeah,
What about you?
he hasn't come up with one yet. I'm waiting here.
He has to smoke cigarettes the whole show.
Well, we got to make it. I got to make it Bronco. It's got to be.
Well, you
got to
smoke like you got to.
Make him put his zone in.
Why does it have to be Bronco
dart.
related?
How about
Dart,
Dart.
Jackson,
Dart.
dart.
Oh,
Darts.
I like that.
Okay.
Cowboy Reed smokes darts at the Monday Live show, making us to smoke darts at his next showing.
He won't do it. He won't do it.
I'd do it, but I'd have to.
No, you wouldn't do it.
Sure,
Hey,
I'd do it,
I'm
but I have to
Macon.
prove it.
Nathan? No, Macon.
If I could like stomp it out as they were walking up.
You got to ride a horse.
That would be so annoying
Yeah.
to have to go find out. It's a good punishment.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying. The other day I had a day off, and Meg was like, "Hey, I tried to get us I wanted to go horseback riding, and I tried to set us up, but they didn't have anything."
Oh,
I'm like,
shoot.
"Thank God, dude. Fuck, man. I want to ride a horse at some point, but not right now."
Tell Meg to hit me up.
Yeah,
dog. I got the hookup.
where's the horse?
I got the hookup.
You know a cowboy?
I know a place that you could do horseback riding.
I mean, so do we. They couldn't fit us in at this point, and so.
Why do none of your players have cool names, Cowbs?
I know.
And I rode a horse once before. You know what happened?
What?
Horse sat down.
Wow.
Get your big white ass off my back. That's probably what it was thinking.
I've seen bigger guys on horses.
No, for sure. But that horse in particular is probably like, what the hell?
Macon has to go mining for a day. Quinn Miners. You have to go be a miner.
Yep, not gonna do that.
Guys, this is.
I'm also gonna need approximately 7 points.
No,
And-
just straight up.
How about the loser has to bother Kyle about the tattoo he never got?
Ooh.
Okay.
Or the $180 he still owes me.
Yeah.
Yes, the loser has to collect our debts from Kyle. The loser has to pester Kyle
you
every
gotta
day
document
next
it,
week.
too.
Yeah,
You gotta document
that's it.
Okay.
dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, loser has to text Kyle or call Kyle every day about each thing he owes us.
I need a few points. We're not very good.
Okay. 3.5.
3.5. We're gonna cut the line in half
Yeah.
just for. All right, fine.
Y-
Deal.
7
Deal.
is yeah.
Right,
3.5 is
it's
fine.
7.
Yeah, but you don't
All
need a
right.
whole.
Thank you. For
So this
the-
this game, however it ends up, is going to be I think it's going to be a very intense game. We already had Cooper talking about,
who?
hey, Jackson Dart, he's got his chain, he's trying to look cute out there. I'm paraphrasing, running around with the ball in his hand, basically translation. We're gonna try to tattoo his ass. We are going to. Jackson Dart's gonna spin out of something and just get somebody at some point is gonna blast Jackson Dart this Sunday. And I'm a Dart fan. We said that Dart made fans of us after the game. This Denver defense is a lot better than the one that he saw at home in the friendly confines of MetLife Stadium. Here's the thing. Another thing is they're honoring Demaryius Thomas. God rest his soul.
10-year anniversary of the Super Bowl team.
And there are going to be some emotions in that building, dude, as there should be. And I just feel like the Giants, with all this rest, playing a team like Denver, you can't be sleepwalking in the first half, because if they get up on you, this one could get a little bit sideways for them. So the way I look at it is, you're going to have to run the ball, and that to me is the big. There's often when you're going on the road to play a team, and you know that you're outmatched, your offense is outmatched. The whole week you kind of wonder how it's going to look like. And the one question I have is can you run the football on this group? If you can play this game in phase. But if you can't, if Scattaboo's 2.5 yards a pop or something like that, this game's going to get kind of
and that's what it's gonna
scary.
be. Don't
I know,
you think?
and that's the way I think it's going to go. But I also didn't think they'd do that the other night.
Yeah.
I thought they'd be able to move the ball and attack the Waldo, whoever it is, or I thought they'd be able to bleed some yards in the run game, but they just came out and they kicked the Eagles' asses. I thought that they'd, make it a game on the heels of their defense keeping the points down, but like they were fucking electric at times in that game. So we'll find out. There's a big delta between the Eagles defense and the Broncos defense, but and a lot of this is like we're going to talk about, and another thing is the Broncos front against the Giants front is going to be a lot of fun.
And
It's going to be a lot of
honestly,
fun.
the other way around, the Giants front, defensive front against the Broncos.
That's what I mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
Broncos O-line.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're down to our fourth left guard after Ben Powers, and we had two other injuries with Matt Parrott last week, tearing his MCL like 3 plays into the game and still playing like a beast. And so, that spot and that side of the line is going to get attacked.
Those guys, and that's the one group that can wreck a game. And so we'll see.
Imagine being a 4th string guard and having to play against Sexy Dexy.
Not a lot of fun.
No.
Not a lot of fun.
Little Jordan Humphrey revenge game.
Yep.
So, yeah, it is.
8 targets.
So I'm reading these things about the Giants trading for a fucking receiver. Would you? You're the resident Giants fan.
I'd like to acquire a wide receiver for a future season. So then, yeah, sure. But this season's not the season. Slayton's still not practicing. Jalen Hyatt not practicing. It's going to be the Wandale show again. And literally, little
Beau
Jordan
Collins.
Humphrey. But I wouldn't want to necessarily mortgage a draft pick on 4, 5, 6-year wide receiver this season.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the free agents because I agree that you might want to add one. Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, Jacoby Myers, Alan Lazard. You see how it's getting late early. Diami
Started.
Brown, Tutu Atwell, Adam Thielen, Marquise Brown, Juwan Jennings, who I love. I'm just going by Rashid Shaheed. Like, there are guys out there. But yeah, if you want to get – and so that part of it is it just depends on how you want to build your team. You're sitting at 2-4, and this is why this game is so big to me is like if they go win this game, they have a whole different mindset about where they want to be this year. And it might be the impetus to say, oh, we do want to buy, which I'm not saying you want to buy for this year, but – you might buy for this year and be happy you have Chris Olave next year under contract.
Yeah.
And he might want a contract right away because he's playing on his option. So you kind of have to figure out like who it is that you want to add to the room that's affordable in the future, doesn't fuck you up because you're not really making a move to your point for right now. Now, if you win this game, you might say, oh, we could use a number 1 receiver.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a 2-5 team without Malik Neighbors, with a shaky offensive line, as great as Thursday night was. I don't think it's a now move. It's got to be a future move, as you're saying.
Now you're Brian Daboll.
Yeah, Daboll.
Joe Sean.
Yeah, Shane.
I'm just fucking their names up. So Joe Sean.
Uh-huh.
You're Joe Sean.
Yeah.
You get one shot at this. Like, you want to win games. You know what I'm saying? So there's that element of it too, which is like, maybe Dayball's the dead man walking, although I have a hard time imagining they're going to fire the head coach if Jackson Dart once every 2 weeks plays like that last week. Mm-hmm. Like if you get a bunch of high fives the rest of the year and fist bumps and, somebody was like, Dayball damn near sexualizes him. He's so excited about having Jackson Dart in the building. Like, you could save my whole career, dude. Like, whatever you want, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the whole tent thing is like,
yeah, dude.
I need you.
Can we run the AI video right now? Because I did it during the pick show, but this AI video is funny as shit. Nate, you love this video.
So funny.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Of course I have.
Some
Hold the
people.
light for me. Good. Any dizziness? How's your vision? You know where we are?
Doc, he's good. He's fine. Jackson, get your ass back out there. The freak is trying to hand over the game. Let's go.
The freak is trying to hand over the game. What is the prompt for that?
I'm sure I'm sure they had to send the game of Dayball looking into the tent from the TV copy.
I don't know, man. I don't know how it
and
works.
Just say, hey.
And I hate AI, but since the world's ending, we might as well laugh at some of these football AIs.
It's hilarious.
But yeah, they're trying to win right now. And like there's also the argument for the development of the quarterback, which I think is the most important thing, honestly, that transcends anything. If I'm walking upstairs to argue on behalf of the quarterback and like his development, like it's hard to argue against, hey, right now, like we lost our number one receiver and like he's the guy of the future. I think you see that whether I'm here or not, you want to give him somebody to throw to.
Yeah, and just to add to this, Chris, like you listed the upcoming free agent class. It's really rare for high-end receivers to hit the open
They
market
don't.
just because it being right with it being a premium position. Either one of those guys in New Orleans, whether it's Olave, he'll be on his 5th year next year, and then Shaheed being in a contract year, both being on their rookie deals. That is a situation where you bring one of those guys in, maybe sign him to an extension right away, and then in that case, you are looking at 2026 going into next year with Dart coming to the season with Leaky Neighbors and one of those guys in the perimeter, maybe Wandale in the slot, and it looks a lot better going into next year.
The Eagles have 2 really good corners. They got to go out and get another one. I'm sure this offseason will be like the first thing they do or one of the first things they do. But like if you force the Eagles to have, they're the team to beat in the division, and so you stay ahead of the other teams or you keep from falling behind because if you're going to be serious next year, well, you got to think about that too. So, and you look at a guy like I'll give you a guy that might just be a good rental, Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
No, but he's a veteran. He's he's going to cost. He's not going to cost much. He's up next year. He'd be cheap. You get a Dayball Judy reunion. Giants reportedly had interest in 22. Lots of drops. He'd be cheap. Supposedly the Giants have called to check on a number of wide receiver rooms, so it seems like they're going to do it. Waddle might be would you make that move?
Love Jalen Waddle.
I love Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
I do too. He shouldn't be playing down there.
Yeah. If it's to help the rookie quarterback get better, that's fair enough, but there's also an argument to be made to not win a lot of games this year. You have your draft pick.
Chris is the master at that.
What?
Chris is the master of
teams tanking.
Yeah, of the art of tanking. You should really
Fuck,
write a
dude.
book.
I was.
You should write a book.
Yeah, well, I actually went undercover in a whole tanking situation. The better part of like a decade. My alias was Chris Long.
It worked. It worked eventually, right?
Yeah,
That franchise, they got
I didn't get
the
to
Super
see
Bowl.
it. They got to fucking win the Super Bowl. But anyways, the rest of it, man. The rest of it in the 4 p.m. slate. I mean, Commanders Cowboys is going to be a lot of points. It's going to be really fun. Cowboys just have so many problems defensively. I don't know if chief among them is linebacker, but it's not good, dude. Linebacker is an ugly scene in Dallas. It is an ugly scene. We talk about the pass rush. We talk about some of the injuries they've had outside. It was funny seeing Mike Sando, who I love. Shout out to Mike Sando. He was my dog in the NFC West way back in the day. Now he's like athletic, mega personality, well-deserved. But he did this whole thing about like guys that are getting fucked over by their situations based on EPA, the deficit between EPA, that they create versus EPA, special teams and defense on their team quarterbacks. Obviously, Dak Prescott was number one by a wide margin. He has like a negative 31 deficit when you add up the special teams and defense of his team and compare it to how he's doing offensively. I just thought that was really interesting. It's no surprise to me that that's the case, but he is by far the most screwed over guy by his situation in the NFL right now. You know who was on the other end of the spectrum for him?
True.
Trevor. Somebody looked this up. I'm butchering the name of the study. It was Mike Sando's. I forget the name of it. It's an athletic thing.
Betrayal index.
Betrayal index. The betrayal index. Read up on that. It's pretty wild. Sando's the man, and I'm sure he's like, Chris, you really butchered the explaining of the metric. But to shorthand it. It just goes to show that Dak's having a historic season, as we know. And listen, he hasn't been perfect. That's the thing. Like last week, I don't think was their best game in some spots offensively with the play calls or the execution. But this is a big one for both teams. Like they're kind of both these teams is that like because Dallas is 2-3-1. Yeah. And Commanders, who had big high hopes this year and should have high hopes. Like look in the division right now. Like the Eagles look kind of wounded. They went out and let one get away from Monday night and did not play their best ball. So this is a huge game. It's going to be a race to 40 points. I mean, it really is, dude. And if it's not, I'll be damn interested to see why not. What is the scenario that this isn't a high-scoring game?
There is none. The Commies might run for 300 yards.
Yeah, dude. I know, dude. It's going to be ugly. That's why I took the team total, Commanders team total over 28.
You know whose practice window is opening?
What person?
DeMarvion Overshown.
Dude, cannot wait to see him come back.
Probably be like week 11, said Jerry.
He is Overshown is the next star in the NFL. He is the next big star in the NFL. Just wait. Fucking guy's incredible. I hope he's the same guy when he comes back.
I know.
You know, but can you imagine that defense in a year if they have Overshown and a freshly acquired Myles Garrett? They flip the picks, the Green Bay picks, and turn it into Myles Garrett.
CD Lamb said he is ready to return to the lineup this Sunday against the Commanders. That certainly helps the over.
Dude, it does. It is, and they put it way up there at 55, so the chicken shit people stay away. But Steve wasn't chicken shit today.
Nope.
Gave it out. Good, sharp play there. Don't have to be sharp to pick that one. I bet you all the money's on the over too. I bet all the bets and all the money's on the over. Here we are thinking we're sharp, and we're like. We're PD public on this thing. Let me see real quick.
I don't know.
Well, let me look at mine.
55 is.
It's a healthy.
It is a lot, but it's basically a college game. When you look at it like a college game, like it kind of, you're like, oh, 55 is not that much. They're kind of playing college football out there. When it comes to the total in the Dallas, wow, you're right. 65% of the bets, 57% of the money on the under.
Yeah.
54 and a half.
That for the over.
That's wild. Okay. And then lastly, Packers-Cardinals before we get to the night game. For the Cardinals, man, they did some good things last week with Jacoby Brissett. And, I don't think it's a – would a Ewing theory apply here?
I don't think he's good enough.
No, right, exactly. What kind of theory is that then? The Murray theory?
The Kyler Murray theory.
where your team just, I mean, like, Nolan, you had a
The
bit about
offense is just
explosives.
better with it. Yeah, Cardinals led the league week 6, 9 explosive plays. They averaged 4 per game across the first 5 weeks.
Which
I
might be a
texted that
Colts
to
tweet,
Chris.
too.
I texted that to Chris, and Chris replied, pew, pew.
Yeah, seriously, because finally, dude, like, you want your explosives. Here's this guy who's like a lawn deer back there, career, spot starter, who honestly could and should run for president. He's just a fantastic human being, Jacoby Brissett. Just stabilizing everything, but also raising the ceiling on the offense. In a game where like nobody gave you a chance, you're catching almost double-digit points. I think maybe it was double-digit points, and they were on the doorstep of winning that game. And so the Packers need to watch out.
Brissett's 320 yards and 2 touchdowns had not happened for Kyler Murray since Week 8 of 2022.
Yeah, it's not a good deal, dude. And I think the writing's on the wall there. And the unfortunate thing is, and I know I was the guy that said, "Oh, you can't touch players." That doesn't mean I want Jonathan Gannon gone. I think we made it perfectly clear we really like Jonathan Gannon. I hope he outlasts the quarterback because I do think he's a good defensive football coach, and I think Arizona, quiet as kept, has some really good pieces on their roster. And on some positions that people don't pay as much attention to. I think they got a fantastic secondary.
This is a game, like we talked about it on Monday, the Packers having after their week 1 win against the Lions, kind of stumbling offensively. And it doesn't, trend-wise, doesn't look like a game that favors them. In his career, Love is 0-6 straight up on the road when he scores fewer than 20 points, so they need to get their offense clicking a little bit. And Jonathan Gannon, with the Cardinals bye week on deck, in 2 games is 2-0 straight up and covering the spread by almost 24 points a game.
Well, guess what? Small sample size.
Exactly.
And I think the Packers D-line is going to mash this offensive line. I think it's gonna be like bumper cars in there. And I think the other part of it is you got to figure it's going to be fun to watch the receivers match up with those guys in the back end for Arizona. Like, you talk about a group that's got a deep secondary, a deep wide receiver group playing each other. But the run game, dude, if the Packers need to turn this thing into a real fist fight. They turn it into a fist fight, they'll be fine. But, if they get too cute, if the Cardinals find themselves in this game late, crazy shit happens. Especially, I feel like, down there, dude. You go down there and play on the road, sometimes some wacky shit happens. And at the end of the day, the Packers corners are going to be the topic. Like, if the Packers fall short this year, discounting all the ways that they could shoot themselves in the foot, which they have in the past, the corner room is a little bit of a concern. So, and you saw it last week, I love that, where, if I were playing Jamar Chase and Joe Flacco was throwing him the football, I would just shut the fuck up and hope he doesn't get mad. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I would just kind of like let him be. But those guys were mugging him up and doing all this and putting the seatbelt on. And then Jamar Chase is like, I'm the fucking king out here, dude. I am the blue chip player. That was something else, dude. It was like 2 plays before he caught
Life comes at you fast.
one of the most incredible touchdowns of the weekend. Dudes are mugging him up like he's supposed to be able to do anything about his fucking situation. Now, I don't mean to confuse Joe Flacco with Browning. I think it's a step up, and I think hopefully tonight, by tomorrow when you hear this, you'll know what happened. But I think the point being, Jamar Chase is a dog. I thought that was a weird deal. Little guys are going to tell me you talk shit regardless. I'm just like, man, be careful. Don't poke the bear.
Yeah.
It's a weird tangent to go on in the fucking Cardinals thing, but I just that stuck out to me as a player. I was like, damn, you're really like dancing on the sideline in front of Jamar Chase. Like, it's like people are just waiting to like.
Did the gritty?
I'm like, dude.
And then Jamar Chase catch that touchdown and did the gritty right back.
We got a gritty war.
Gritty war.
A gritty war. All right, and then the night game. Finally, we get to the night game. Falcons 49ers. I want to, for this game, I wanted to take you guys back in time, a little history lesson. Do you guys remember the pick at the stick? You probably wouldn't, because I didn't even know it was called that. But I do remember the play. It's the last game at Candlestick, one of my favorite stadiums of all time. 2013, Falcons trail by 10 points with 2 minutes to play. Gonzalez scores a touchdown. You got an onside kick, right? Goes right through Navarro Bowman's hands. Right through his hands. Falcons get the ball. A couple plays later, they're in the red zone. They got a chance to score. Atlanta's driving for the win now in the last game at Candlestick, and the balls barely hit the ground in the fourth quarter, I feel like, in that game. In my mind's eye, I don't think Matt Ryan threw a fucking incompletion in the fourth quarter. And one of the DBs came down, got a hand on a ball. Navarro Bowman, in stride, falls right into his hand, runs like 95 yards for a touchdown. I'll never forget that play. It was the lid came off the place, and that was a Falcons-Niners primetime game. It just made me think of that memory, and this is the Harbaugh quote I was hunting earlier. That was one of the greatest plays I've ever seen. 49ers head coach Jim Harbaugh gushed in a post-game interview. I've never been involved in a football game where something that good happened in a game. And it was a great play by T. Brock. Tremaine Brock was the guy who came down and made the play on the ball, and a great play by Navarro Bowman. How about him with the superlatives? I've never been involved in a football game where something that good happened. That was a great memory, dude. I just if you'd asked me what year that happened, I would have said like 2020. But it was
I know.
13 years ago.
Weird to think of Navarro Bowman as like a way back game.
I know, dude.
A play that has a name.
I know. Yeah. So, anyways, coming into this game, I think like with George Kittle coming back, and he's going to play this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have not run the ball well. I think sometimes, and I'm not discounting the whole thing, I think it's just going to be interesting to see if they do run the ball a lot better with him in the lineup. Like, a lot of times you think about offensive linemen, you think about scheme, the whole thing. Like, having a tight end like him that blocks in the run game, in the scheme that they employ, is a differentiating factor. And so, like, to me, that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Can they get that run game going with Christian McCaffrey, with George Kittle at tight end, kicking guys on asses on the edge? Like, you know, like I think James Pierce is going to be a good player. I think Jalen Walker is going to be a good player. They have not played a tight end like George Kittle yet, and so like I look forward to seeing him. Maybe he's going to do some baptisms Sunday night, some Sunday night baptisms. We'll hear what Skip Bayless has to say about that.
Did you see the Halloween? Someone, a 49ers fan, they decorated their house, and it's all the injured players and skeletons.
Oh, dude, there's an AI video that I didn't want to put on because I think it's kind of like mean.
Yeah.
Did you see the AI video?
No.
Go on.
But I just thought this was funny and creative, but it's also kind of crazy, like that you have that many star players.
Dude, it's oh yeah, this is nuts.
Basically, all the players that have jerseys that you can buy in the store.
That's awesome.
Like when it's all of them, that's probably not a good deal.
That's crazy. I mean, the injuries are not awesome, but like
No.
it is an awesome way to cope with it.
And they're all visiting newly injured.
Yeah.
Fred.
Is that Chicago Bears star Jake Moody?
Yeah.
Might be a jersey they had lying around.
So you got the return of George Kittle. I think that's going to be really interesting. That's one thing I'm gonna be excited. And Ulbrich blitz Josh Allen 90% of third downs. So you talk about like what do you want to do against Mac Jones? Well, if you can get in these third and longs, he was not great against the blitz last week. I'm not saying he's just going to replicate all the looks that Bowles gave him, but we all know the spots last week where Bowles got the better of Shanahan and of Mac Jones. And so I think this is a spot where you're going to see some blitz. I also feel like just with everybody that's been down for this group, like you can man up. You can man up. You want to man up, you can man up. You need to man up for the run game. Man up. The thing that worries you about manning up is it's the motions, it's the it's the fast, the flat stuff, it's all that. But like I think the game's going to be won and lost with the run game for San Francisco. Obviously, you have a whole nother side of the ball that you have to worry about. And San Francisco's defense is going to look a lot different without Fred Warner. And I think in a game where you're playing Bijan Robinson, you can't get a pass rush to save your life. Like the San Francisco defense they're going to be big game hunting when it comes to an edge rusher. And we talked about how bottleneck that market is. Like somebody's going to get Trey Hendrickson. If they do, then like who's next? Like there's a couple guys on Miami. There's Jermaine Johnson. We mentioned some other guys, but like to really rescue this front, like I don't know if there's anybody out there that can. Even Trey Hendrickson. Like Nick Bosa is just so dominant, dude. Nick Bosa is so dominant to replace him, to replace Fred Warner. So like for me, that's why I harp on the run game, like trying to keep Atlanta's offense off the field. Try to, like if you can run the ball, shorten the game, keep the ball out of Michael Penix's hand, as funny as that sounds, like, and I think he's a good player, but here we are saying that already about that offense because it is a scary offense.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And they're going to get Mooney back this week. Did I hear that?
Yeah, he's practicing.
So like, for me, the whole game comes down to keeping that offense off the field because, like, the way you looked at Backer, the way you look from a communication standpoint last week, like, Zach Robinson's going to have a plan. And his plan is going to be to run outside zone. Niners are terrible there. 31st in success versus outside zone in EPA. 31st in success rate and in EPA. against outside zone. So like that to me that's the game. You know, as boring as it sounds, it's like who's going to be able to run the football. I hate to like Neanderthal football you for Sunday night, but I think that's going to be what it comes down to. And Brock is limited this week. So we could see Brock Purdy. If we see Brock Purdy, which Nolan's nodding no, I don't think so because he's more limited than Mac from what it sounds like. If we see Brock Purdy and Brock Purdy doesn't play well, and this is one of the reasons I don't think you put him in just yet until he's 100%, you will have a quarterback controversy. I'm not making the quarterback controversy up. I'm not endorsing quarterback controversy, but you will have a quarterback controversy if you rush him back for a game and he doesn't look like himself.
Well, and also it doesn't seem like this is the spot to throw him back in. If you're Kyle Shanahan and you see how the Falcons got after Josh the other night,
yes,
or in the game against the Bills, why make that risk?
The next three defenses are Texans, Giants, Rams.
Why make that risk for the next three games?
Well, and here's the other thing. Ulbrich is your guy. Ulbrich used to coach defense under Robert Saleh. Like, I wouldn't quite say it's like a tree. I know we kind of talked about it the other night with like Josh struggling against Ulbrich in the past and Saleh and that sort of thing. And like there are some cover three foundational elements to the defense, but I do think Ulbrich's running it a little bit different. Like I think Ulbrich has turned up the dial in some areas, one being like they brought a lot of fucking pressure the other night. So like if you're sitting there thinking like, well, this is the defense that, Penix is used to seeing Saleh's defense and vice versa with Mac Jones or Brock Purdy, that's not the case. Like, so there's a lot of similarities, but there are going to be differences. I think this game really does come down to the run game.
Two leaders in scrimmage yards, Bijan Robinson and Christian McCaffrey.
And
they've gotten them in different ways.
Passing game, the Drake London pace with Michael Penix, 1,655 yards over 17 games it would be.
Wow. Good for him. Great guy. Should have went to Virginia. We couldn't land him. They didn't want to let him play two sports.
Mike could have his quarterback now.
Yeah. So
that other guy, McCaffrey, he's 6-0 in his receiving yards over, eclipsing 50 yards in all six games.
Hey, come on now. Week 7, already here.
Take care.